in the heart of World War II, amidst the thunder of artillery and the cries of the fallen, heroes emerged, not just from the ranks of soldiers, but from the quiet courage of those who mended them. Today, we tell the story of one such hero, a woman whose name might not be in every history book, but whose legacy is etched into the lives of 100 soldiers she refused to leave behind. This is the story of Nurse Elise. Before the war, Elise was a young woman from a small town with a big heart, drawn to nursing by a simple desire to help others. The world, however, had bigger, more terrifying plans. When the call for volunteers came, she didn't hesitate. Leaving the safety of her home behind, she traded her starched white uniform for the mud-stained fatigues of a frontline nurse. She was headed for the chaos of the European theatre, a place where life and death danced a constant, brutal ballet. Her first post was a makeshift field hospital, just miles from the front lines. The reality was a brutal shock. The air was thick with the smell of antiseptic and despair. The neat rows of beds she knew from training were replaced by stretchers crammed into every available space, spilling out into muddy tents. Every day was a relentless tide of wounded men, their bodies shattered, their eyes holding the vacant stare of those who had seen too much. It would have been easy to become numb, to see the soldiers as just a series of wounds to be patched. But Elise refused. She made a promise to herself. Every soldier was a person, a son, a brother, a husband. She learned their names, listened to their stories, and held their hands through the darkest hours. She offered not just medical care, but a sliver of humanity in a world that had seemingly lost its own. Her compassion became a shield against the horrors they all faced. The battle raged for weeks. The front line was a fluid, unpredictable beast. One morning, the unthinkable happened. A sudden enemy advance overran their position. The order came down: evacuate. All able-bodied personnel, fall back immediately. Chaos erupted. Doctors and orderlies scrambled to move who they could, but many soldiers were too gravely injured to be moved quickly. They were to be left behind, their fate sealed. As others retreated, Elise stood her ground. She looked at the faces of the men entrusted to her caremen, with bandaged limbs, with fevers raging, with hope fading from their eyes. She couldn't do it. Leaving them was not an option. In that moment of terrifying clarity, she made a choice that would define her life. She would not run. She would stay. With a handful of other medics who drew strength from her resolve, Elise organized a desperate defense. Not with guns, but with courage. They moved the most critical patients into a reinforced cellar, creating a makeshift bunker. Above them, the sounds of battle grew closer, shaking the very earth. Every explosion felt like a death knell. They were cut off, surrounded, and utterly alone. For 3 days, they survived in that cellar. Supplies dwindled. Water was rationed by the spoonful. Elise moved tirelessly from one soldier to the next, changing dressings with scraps of cloth, whispering words of encouragement, and fighting off infections with the last of their sulfur powder. She was their anchor in a sea of fear, her calm presence a silent promise that they were not forgotten. She kept their spirits alive with stories of home, forcing them to think of a future beyond the darkness of their makeshift tomb. On the 4th day, a new sound broke the silence: the rumble of friendly tanks. Allied forces had counterattacked and retaken the area. When the hatch to the cellar was finally thrown open, the soldiers who entered were stunned by what they found. There was Elise, exhausted but unbroken, surrounded by nearly 100 wounded men, all of them alive. She had not lost a single one. The soldiers she saved would call her their angel of the cellar. Her story became a quiet legend, passed from one platoon to the next. a testament to the fact that heroism wasn't just about taking lives, but about saving them. She didn't fire a single shot, but her bravery outshone that of many who did. She fought her war with compassion, resilience, and an unbreakable spirit. After the war, Elise returned home, not to parades or medals, but to the quiet life she had left behind. She never spoke much of her time on the front lines, the memories too heavy to carry into the light. But the 100 letters she received over the years, from the men she saved and their grateful families, told the story for her. They spoke of the nurse who faced down an army to give them a second chance at life. Elise's story reminds us that in the grand, violent narrative of war, the most powerful acts of courage are often the most human. It's the courage to care in the face of cruelty, to hold on to hope when all seems lost, and to believe in the value of a single life amidst mass destruction. These are the silent heroes who fought not with weapons, but with heart. Thank you for joining us to honor the incredible story of Nurse Elise. Her bravery is a powerful reminder of the resilience of the human spirit. If you were moved by her story, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more tales of the unsung heroes of history. We'll see you next time.